Rob's trying to work out whether Rob's genuine or not. That's all.
Okay. Okay, good. But let's start with that to begin with. Why question it? What sense do you mean am I genuine?
Well, I don't want that to be the essence of the conversation, but basically, you've been in the park long enough, you've heard the arguments long enough, and yet you haven't changed position. So I'd question that. That's all.
Okay. In the sense that I'm dishonest or I'm unconvinced, or
I think you're honest with. Maybe honest with the people, not honest with yourself, maybe.
Okay. So maybe underlying something I really should believe, and I'm rejecting it for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That you know, as soon as you become religious, you have to start adhering to laws and rules and regulations. Start believing stuff that you can't prove and all of that.
Well, that's all part of it.
Yeah, of course it is.
I think I've said it to you before. If there was a good argument or evidence, I would change my mind. Even if from my point of view, I went, do you know what? Some of the moral implications I believe it is very unpleasant.
Well, we can challenge the moral implications.
I would still believe it.
Because we're going to talk about morality.
You can do, sure.
So basically, first thing the position I'm trying to hold is this: that somebody can hold a belief without evidence, and accept it to be true.
Well, people do that all the time.
Yeah. So, for example, my position to believe in the existence of a creator isn't unreasonable.
But you believe you've got evidence, correct? Whatever evidence is.
I didn't say that, did I?
Say again?
I didn't say that, did I? I said belief without evidence.
Okay, but that would be unreasonable, wouldn't it?
No.
So why not?
Because...
Well, think about it. Now, think about this. I'll give you an easy example. I believe in unicorns. No evidence. Is that reasonable?
Why do you... No. If you believe in unicorns without evidence, I would ask, why do you believe in unicorns?
And I say because it makes me feel good. Probably.
Why does belief in unicorns...
I like the thought about unicorns. It sounds like a wonderful...
Have you ever seen a unicorn?
Only on paper.
So how do you know they exist? Or why do you believe they exist?
Because it makes me feel good.
No, but why... Oh, right. So no, here's what's happened now, you see, is your reason for believing is irrational, illogical.
Okay.
Just because you like the sound of them doesn't mean they exist.
No, but I've seen them in drawings.
Yeah, but just because you've seen them on drawings doesn't mean they exist.
Sure, correct, yeah.
So your reasons for believing are illogical.
No, they're not illogical. They might be unreasonable to you, not illogical.
What?
Because that means...
So you think anything drawn on paper must exist? Or can exist?
This person, not me personally.
No, we're using your example.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to you, if your reason for believing unicorns exist is because you've seen pictures of unicorns, I would ask you how you correlate a picture of a unicorn with the true existence of a unicorn.
We got a bit off track, but that's fine.
No, because here's the point, you see. Anyone can hold any belief they like.
Correct.
People can believe Jesus died for their sins. People can believe the Bible's the word of God.
Yeah.
And they can't prove it, but they can give me reasons for it. And I can challenge those reasons for it.
Sure.
And if I can show those reasons for it to be unreasonable or illogical, or irrational, if I can show that, that means if they continue to hold that belief, they're now delusional. Because I can't collapse the belief because I can't prove it. I can't prove Jesus didn't die for their sins. Yeah? But what I can do is challenge the reasons they hold for that belief.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if they say because of the Bible, I say, why do you believe the Bible? Or the Bible says the word of God, why do you believe the word of God? And it will completely collapse by the come to the end of it. All right. So you can hold any belief you like. I agree. You believe in unicorns? I'll challenge you. Why do you believe in unicorns?
Originally you said you can hold a belief with no reasons, and I said
a belief can, without evidence, can be believed, and can be true. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a prime example. I used this example earlier with man. Where'd he go? Like he's up. I said, look, I've never proven my mum is my mum. I've never had a DNA test to see whether or not she's my mum or not. But I believe she's my mum. Right? And I have reasons to believe she's my mum. Yeah? So, at the moment it's only a belief.
No, but you got reasons. You said you got reasons.
I have reasons.
Yes.
So, it's a belief still. It's not, I've got no evidence. I've got no proof.
But reasons can have evidence or not.
No, because the only way I can prove she's my mum is a DNA test.
Correct. But you've got other reasons.
Yeah, but that doesn't prove she's my mum. I can say she looks like me. Well, that's subjective.
Birth
certificate could be forged. Yeah? Could have been switched. Forget that. I could have been switched to the hospital she didn't know. For example. So what I'm saying is, as it stands right now, I can only believe my mum's my mum. I can't say I know she is.
But you have the opportunity. It is available to you.
Okay. But I haven't.
No, but that's fine.
So as it stands right now, it's only a belief.
Yeah. But that can turn
now, no, it can do. Now, if I do a DNA test and she's my mum, that will prove she's my mum. If I don't do a DNA test, she's still my mum.
You will still believe she's your mum, yes.
No. The the fact will be she's still my mum.
What fact?
If I do a DNA test and she's my mum.
Yeah, now there's a fact.
No, it's the evidence for it.
What is the fact that she's your mum?
The reality.
You just said you could have been switched to birth, you might not be your mum.
No, but if I do a DNA test and she's my mum, that means if I didn't do the DNA test, it doesn't change the fact she was my mum.
I see what you're trying to say. You're trying to say basically that whether even if you didn't do a DNA test, she still could be your mum.
No. If I did a DNA test, that would prove she's my mum.
Yes.
If I didn't do a DNA test, that wouldn't change the fact she's still my mum. It wouldn't change the fact. Maybe I could prove it.
No, but there isn't a fact there. Because what are you going to give me as a fact?
Okay. The fact is, if I do the DNA test and she's my mum, whether and I don't do a DNA test, that doesn't change the reality that she's still my mum, even though I haven't proven it.
No, but it does.
It doesn't.
Because you're saying.
So you're saying to me that if I do a DNA test, it proves she's my mum.
Yes.
Right? And I don't do a DNA test, then she's not.
No. What I'm saying is that it's a belief. You, at the moment, you believe that it's your mum.
Agreed.
The moment you do a DNA test, you could say, I know it's my mum.
No, I can prove she's my mum. Yes.
I know.
Well, even then, I can still. I don't know whether they made a mistake. You know.
No, but then you can make a knowledge claim.
No. But even then, I can still say no. But even then, the DNA test could be an error.
Okay, but now you're going into what we call radical skepticism.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
No. But the point here is this. The principle is this. Whether I believe my mum's my mum. Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
No.
Yeah.
Whether I prove it or not, I believe she's my mum based on reason. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Now those reasons are my rationale.
Yeah.
You understand? So my belief, without evidence, can still be true. Yeah.
It can be, yes.
Right.
But it could also be false. Yes. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not the issue, mate. That's not the point. The point is this: can a belief without evidence be true? And the reality is yes, it can.
It can be. My question to you, which obviously before we started filming,
what would your reasons be?
So if somebody brings you a belief and they haven't got a reason, because that's what you said, yes?
No.
You said a belief could be true without reasons.
Well, I belief without evidence.
Okay, so what is that? So the example is your mum, yes?
So the example is this: if someone believes in something, but they cannot prove the thing they believe in is true with empirical, observable, testable evidence, that doesn't mean what they believe is false.
No, it doesn't. It could be that it's true.
It could be true.
Could be true.
Yes.
Okay.
Therefore, a belief without evidence could be true.
It could be. Yes.
Now, the only way you can test that belief is to test the reasons for that belief.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yes.
And if those reasons are illogical, you can then say the belief is false.
Yes, you could say the belief is
I'm confident in telling a Christian that his belief that the Bible is the Word of God is false.
Okay, that's
because the reasons they're claiming it's the Word of God collapse.
That's obviously your position. Yeah, that's fine.
To give you an example.
Yeah.
So that's my stance. Yeah, I believe a belief can be true without evidence.
I want to add one extra thing for you.
Sorry?
I want to add one extra thing for you to think about, which is the scale of the claim. So if I say to you, I've got a little dog at home, and I don't tell you any more information, I say I've got a dog at home, are you going to believe me or not?
I have no reason to have seen this change.
So you could have a dog. That's a reasonable belief claim, isn't it? Even without evidence. If I say I've got an invisible dragon at home that sits in my backyard, what would you say now?
I would challenge your belief.
Yeah. But more than likely you would go, I don't accept it or I don't believe the dragon. So the extra thing you just need to consider is the nature of the claim.
Right.
As the claim's extraordinariness goes up, so we need to scale our...
Such as a creator of the universe or an uncaused universe.
Correct.
Agreed.
So that becomes, the burden of proof is more on you if you're going to present it to everybody else. I can't challenge your belief and go, hey, Hamza, your belief, wrong. You believe what you believe. But if you say to me, Rob, here's what I believe, and I want you to potentially believe it for X, Y, and Z reasons, Now I'm going to...
Or I can ask you why you don't believe it.
You can. The burden is on you, but I'm happy to give reasons why.
No, the burden is on me if I'm going to prove it.
If you're going to present it to me as true and say, hey,
but we just had this discussion earlier, that the tools you use, the naturalistic understanding, which is what you are, isn't it? Use naturalism to understand things, the natural world.
Yes, based on certain things,
Now, according to what I know, and you can correct me if I'm incorrect, science cannot be used to prove or disprove the existence of God. I don't believe so.
Okay.
No, you can challenge that, I don't mind.
Yeah, let's try that. Has God at any stage, as far as you're aware, interacted in the natural world? In some form?
Of course it did.
Say again?
Of course it did.
No, but okay, but after the course. So while humans have been on Earth, has God interacted in the natural world?
Yes.
Okay. The moment God interacts in the natural world, that's the claims that we can test. So that's the part that I will say we can test.
Right.
I can't test outside the universe from a naturalistic point of view, but I can test, or we could in principle test, anything where God has intervened, so to speak.
Can you prove God hasn't intervened?
No, but that's a negative claim.
No, but that's a claim.
I can't prove that God
So you wouldn't make that claim, would you?
Because it's possible that God has intervened to an Eskimo in the Greenland that nobody else knows about. So no, I can't prove a negative.
So
that claim
so you wouldn't make that claim. I understand that. All right. So what I'm saying to you is this: science only deals with a natural explanation.
Yes.
Natural reasons. It won't go to the metaphysical.
No, but as long as God interacts in the natural world, in principle, we can have a look into that through a scientific.
But there's no way to test that.
Sure there is.
How are you going to test it?
So let's give me an example of something that God's done in the natural world. What sort of interaction has God had in the natural world?
All right, let's say causing the flood of Noah.
Okay, so do you think that in principle science can test whether that happened?
Yeah. No, can it?
Yes.
How?
Through geological studies, etc. Because some people claim that what's the big one in America? That big meandering area in Arizona. Grand Canyon. Some people think that the Grand Canyon was caused by the floods.
Oh, but I'm not.
No, but it's a claim.
No. Yeah, but you can't think with that claim. I'm thinking with my Islamic claim, isn't it? See, we believe as Muslims that the flood is local rather than worldwide.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah. We don't have this localized to Noah and his region. We don't believe in this idea of a whole world being wiped out.
Okay. But in principle, we could test that in some way.
I don't see how you could.
Through geology, paleontology,
you can test whether or not there's been a flood and what caused it.
No, not necessarily what caused it, but has there been a flood?
No, but the whole point is the cause.
Yeah, but you might not always get to a cause.
No, but this is the whole point. This is the whole principle. The cause of the event.
Okay, so if it's an extraordinary
Let's say there was a worldwide flood, just for example.
Yeah.
Or not worldwide flood, but a flood in this scenario. How could you prove the cause of that flood was naturalistic or not? If your model is only geared up to deal with the natural world, you can only accept a natural explanation anyway. Okay,
so I would ask you questions to ascertain, is this something that could be supernatural? In other words, your local flood, how tall was the water from?
No. You just asked, has God interfered in the natural world?
Yes.
And I've said yes, the flood.
Yes.
Right. But you cannot prove either way, because your model, your tool you're using only accepts natural explanations.
But
it doesn't consider metaphysical explanations.
But it could.
But it doesn't.
It could.
But it doesn't. Because science is built on a natural explanation.
But God intervening in the world becomes a natural...
No, but that's the point. But if you look at a flood, you're never even going to contemplate God did it. Why? Because you're only looking for a natural way it could have occurred.
Not necessarily. I'll give you an example. So your flood. If we could measure in some way that the flood reached the top of
you can't measure in some way. How are you going to measure that?
I'm giving it to you in principle. So by rock layers.
No, but let's deal with the realities, because we're dealing with realities here. We're dealing with what's happened, yeah? So you asked me, has God interfered, as in, has he done this thing? And I said, yes. So you don't have the tools to determine how such a flood occurred. You don't have the tools.
Well, of course we do. We've got the scientific method. method. What your claim is, you are.
But your scientific method does not take the metaphysical into account.
But as soon as the metaphysical dips his finger into the physical.
No, but you won't even consider a metaphysical dip in a finger.
Now you're talking about philosophical naturalism. That's not my position. I'm a methodological naturalist, which means if there was overwhelming evidence that in fact
well, there is no evidence that a finger dipped in
principle, Hamza. Just differentiate between practice and principle. In principle, if the water levels, if we could demonstrate in some way, I know you're going to say, oh, we can't. If in some way we could demonstrate, for example, that Noah's Ark was on top of the buildings, now I'm going, okay, what's the most reasonable explanation? Could it have been a flood in that area or a global flood?
Right.
That's a reasonable. Now I have to postulate. I can't say, oh, it's impossible.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. So methodological naturalism says it's possible that a God can intervene. I'm not somebody that it's impossible.
So your model, your tool does allow for the metaphysical?
It allows for the metaphysical to tip his finger in and for me to...
No, it allows for the existence of the metaphysical.
Yes, it's not...
Really?
Yeah, it's not like I know God doesn't exist, but I've said that too many times.
So you... Okay. So... Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So... That's not the natural... That's not scientific model.
Yeah, but science we still use within it.
No, science is based on the natural, not on the supernatural.
Yes, but science only works on the natural, which is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
So the science doesn't take the supernatural into account. But you're taking it into account.
I'm saying it's in principle it's possible. You go, I think we're
No. What I'm saying is this. Unless I'm wrong, I don't mind being corrected. From what I know of the scientific model, it only takes into account a natural explanation. Now, if you're only taking into account a natural explanation, that means you're dismissing supernatural altogether.
Okay, so there's I think where our difference is. Maybe we can agree to disagree, but what I would say is science goes to the edge. Let's call it the edge of the universe. I can only empirically look at what's inside this bubble we call the universe. I can't look outside. So when you say metaphysically, are you talking about what's outside the universe, or
I'm talking about things that cannot be explained by the natural understandings?
Okay, so, but my position is as long as it happens in the natural world, in principle it could be explained. That's all I'm saying. And it could be explained in theory by some kind of supernatural.
Look, explaining it is one thing, but look, for example, if there was a flood, all right, science will automatically take a natural view of it.
It will start that way, yes, that's the most reasonable position.
Alhamdulillah.
But if there was something unusual or amazing that had happened in that flood,
and then they don't know.
That may or may not be the case.
But that's the case because you did it yourself. When it comes to the origination of the universe, rather than consider the metaphysical, you'd rather say don't know.
But I've got other explanations. But if we both honest,
the origination of the universe.
But I've got explanations. I don't claim they're
No, you've got naturalistic explanations.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But you won't take into account a metaphysical creator.
Not at this stage.
No. Why not?
Because we've got other explanations, and
why are your other explanations, which go against all the natural explanations?
They are actually natural explanations.
Really? Give me a natural explanation for the origination of the universe.
One is inflationary theory, one is psychic conformal psychic cosmology, and another is
what's
conformal psychic cosmology.
What's that?
Okay, so that means that model shows that the universe is eternal in the past and eternal in the future. There was no beginning.
And what's that based on?
So that's based on
what evidence do you have for that?
Okay, so the guy that came up with this has got some...
Is it a belief?
Yes, he's got a belief.
So it's just a belief?
No, he's got some...
No, can he prove his belief?
Empirically?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Right, so it's just
not
a belief?
Yeah.
Right, so now we can test the reasons for his belief.
Correct. We can do the same with any of the other hypotheses.
Right.
My position is this. If the smartest people in the world, let's call them cosmologists in that field, don't know yet, how can anybody else claim
the reason they say don't know, because they only deal with what the natural can explain.
At this stage, that's correct.
Right. So the smartest people in the world you're referring to won't take the idea of a creator into account.
Not at this stage, no, correct.
No, that's what I'm saying to you. So it will never.
No, we can't say it will never. That's a position. You've got to be really careful with that one. You can't say never.
No. But we're living in the now, isn't it?
Sure.
So what you believe now is based on the now, isn't it?
Sure.
So right now, the position you're holding is ignoring the metaphysical for a don't know, isn't it?
When you say ignoring, no, I wouldn't say that.
See, I'll see how it is. See, I don't know of anything. I was having a conversation with the old man, and I had to switch it a little bit because he goes, "Oh, nothing begins to exist." So I had to conform. All right. Nothing changes form. Yeah. without cause, yes?
Within our universe.
What we know.
Yes.
Based on what we know.
Yes.
So, and the universe changed form.
Okay, that we don't know for sure.
We don't know.
We don't know.
What about you? What do you believe?
Okay, so at this moment in time, I will say
Believer. Be a believer.
inflationary model seems to be the most plausible.
So do you believe the universe changed form? From a singularity to what we have?
Depends what you mean by change form.
Change form from one thing to another?
If it rearranged particles, then probably yes. That would be a way of thinking about it.
Right. And can anything happen without? Can that happen without a cause?
Not in that model, no. But there are other models.
No, anything you know of.
No, nothing that we know.
So you don't know of So you don't know of anything that changes form to something else without a cause, yeah?
At this moment in time, yes. And I would caution
Well,
you.
we're living in this moment in time.
Yeah, but I would caution you with two things. One is our intuition and our knowledge is extremely limited at the very small and the very big. So at quantum mechanical level, things happen that are not, and the same at the universe. So we've got to be careful not to extrapolate what happens here outside the universe.
What we're going to do is very, very simple. We have to ask the question, do we know of anything that changes form into something else without a cause to do so?
Not within this universe.
Right. We don't know of anything, yeah? Right. So now we've already accepted now that you believe in the inflationary model, which means the universe was at one point singularity, whatever that form was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah? And became the known universe today, yeah? So that requires a cause now according to your standard.
Yes, that model does.
Right. Exactly. So my point is this. What's that cause? Don't know. Right.
Okay, but on that model, they have got a...
Now what's the natural understanding of that?
Okay, so the natural understanding of inflation...
What caused it?
Yes, yeah. So the multiverse is the cause of...
No, that's not your model.
It is part of the model. It is. So
Well, you believe in the multiverse.
that model has got the multiverse built into it.
You believe in the multiverse.
It's a possibility.
No. Rob, I'm not going to argue someone else's thing here. If you believe in the multiverse, I'll deal with the multiverse. If you're not believing in the multiverse, don't use it for your state of the argument.
I said I don't know.
No. Do you? I'm not asking do you know. I'm asking do you believe?
It's a possibility.
That's
I believe it's possible. That's the way I can give it to you.
Do you believe? Look. Do you believe in the idea of an unlimited amount of universes, or do you believe this is one universe that originated from a singularity?
So, if I believe in that model, then I would believe in...
No, which model do you believe in, Rob?
Hamza, you keep asking me the same thing. I've said to you, nobody knows for sure.
No, but you have a model you're following.
You've asked me... No, I'm not following a model. I'm saying to you, this is the most plausible one that I've heard.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. So, according to your...
You want to say something? Keep wanting to do something.
He's not going to win. I'll win.
No, he's very smart.
The issue is exactly.
If you want, ask him.
Sure, after it. Let me finish it.
Yeah, no problem, right? You can step in, I don't mind. If you have knowledge of cosmology and all that business, feel free.
Yeah, I'm a scientist.
Oh, Allah Akbar.
Yes, I've also got a scientist friend as well, so it'll be good for the two of you to debate.
No. We'll bring the scientist in a minute, yeah? When I run out of science, I'll bring you with a brother. All right.
My buddy as well.
They bring Phil, he's here, yeah, I've seen him.
Not today. Was he here today?
I had a discussion with Phil, and Phil's agreeing with me.
What is he doing?
Well, watch the video.
I haven't seen it.
With Phil. It's when I dealt with, first of all, Ansar, then it was the professor-looking geezer, and then it was Phil. He was number 3.
How long ago was that?
Isn't that
On your channel?
Hello.
Alright, so basically, so what we're saying is this. I can only deal with what you believe, isn't it? Because we deal with your belief.
But I've said to you I don't know.
No. I know you said you don't know because you're only taking naturalistic explanations. But yet you've also conceded that the universe, if it follows the model that you think is most plausible, it requires a cause. But you don't know what that cause is.
So the model predicts that the cause would be the multiverse.
Right.
So if I believe that model and it had a beginning in the sense that...
Well, no, because there are people who believe in that model but don't believe in the multiverse.
Okay, but there's very few of those. So,
Really?
Yeah, because we went to go interview the guy.
Does Stephen Hawking's
No, don't worry about Hawkins.
No, but I have to.
No,
because you talked earlier about the greatest minds of science and whatever.
Okay, but don't go with Hawkins.
Why?
The reason is because Hawking and Penrose, they talked about a singularity. We went to go and interview Sir Roger Penrose, and he talks about conformal psychic cosmology. That model has no singularity. It doesn't have a beginning.
I didn't say Penrose, I said Hawking.
Yeah, but they did that. They did the study together.
So this was the discussion I had with
Hawking.
No, but I'm just asking the questions
Okay,
here.
so I'll ask you and I'll tell you.
So you concede the universe requires a cause, isn't it?
On that model, it has a version of a cause.
Right. Well, the natural explanation is a multiverse, yeah?
Yes, that's what they're driven to.
Is there another one?
For that model, I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of.
Not one of us here.
That one, I'm not aware of another cause. So, no.
Right. And do you believe in the multiverse?
I'm going to give you the point.
You don't need to go to that question is difficult for me to answer because I would say if inflationary theory is true, then yes, I would believe in the
No, but do you believe in the multiverse?
I don't know, Hamza. I know you keep asking. I don't know whether that's true.
I'll tell you why you lost your argument.
If that model, which is plausible, had a beginning, then the multiverse...
No, but then see, look, if you don't believe in the multiverse, don't be afraid to say so.
No, but that's part of the model.
Right, I'm not asking to prove it, I'm just asking, do you believe it?
Okay, for the argument for the...
And the word belief is synonymous with, do you accept it? Are you convinced by it? Do you trust it? Do you have faith in it? And if you don't,
all of those things, I'm not sure, but for the sake of the argument, I say I believe in it.
No, I don't want you to agree because it suits you what you're trying to prove. I want to know, you know what I said about honesty? I want you to be honest here. No. But the point here is this, you kind of indicate and have implied now that you don't really believe in M theory. You kind of implied that. And now you're saying I'll accept it because it...
Well, I'm not an expert in M theory, so...
No. But look, you've implied you don't accept it. You don't believe it.
What is M theory? What do you understand?
Multiverse idea about these bubbles, universe, exploding, contracting, and all that business.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying that's the...
That's the yeah. But do you accept that model then?
I'll accept that part of it.
I don't want you to accept it just for the sake of argument, you see. I'm not interested in that. I'm talking to Rob here. I'm not talking to somebody who's... Do you understand? I want to know what you personally believe. What's your social condition and what's brought you to this? Because you know why? You can't prove what you believe. Yeah, agreed?
Sure.
Right. So you have reasons to believe what you believe. So that's why I asked about the M theory, the multiverse idea. Do you believe that? If you believe that...
I believe it's plausible. What more can I say to you? You want to push that a bit more than that? I'm not sure what more than that. That's a plausible explanation for the...
Is it the only naturalistic explanation?
No.
What's the other natural explanation for the cause of the universe?
Okay, so the other one is that it's eternal in the past and the future, and the other one is...
Do you believe that?
That's a possibility.
No, do you believe that?
I don't know which one.
No, I'm asking what you know. I'm asking what you believe.
I don't know what I believe about...
Can it be eternal? Alright, let's make it easy for you. Can you be eternal in the past, eternal in the future, and be a multiverse?
No, those two are contradictory.
Contradictory?
Yes.
So, if you... So they're both... What? So if you accept that, you can't accept that.
So, whichever model's true, if we find out...
I'm not asking what model's true.
There will be a...
You don't know what's true. You can't prove it.
Each model has its own explanation.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this. Which model do you believe to be true? I'm asking you to prove what you believe. I'm just asking you which one you believe.
I think inflationary theory is the most plausible option.
Inflationary theory is the first part, Big Bang.
Yes.
We're talking about the cause of this now.
Yes.
Now you give two theories.
No, there's only one with that. Yes. Two theories.
You give M theory?
So two theories.
Oh, sorry, forgive me. So you're saying there's no other naturalistic explanation for the Big Bang?
I'm saying that's the most widely accepted.
No.
Yeah.
So what's the other naturalistic explanation for the Big Bang, other than M theory?
Okay, so it's the eternal universe.
No, that's not inflationary. That's not.
It still does. It's still.
Sorry, explain the eternal universe to me.
So Roger Penrose's one model goes basically like this: there's been universes in the past, and they continue on, and he calls it eons. So what they do is they do this, they dissipate, and it comes back together and starts.
What's the difference between that and multiverse?
Okay, because there's only one universe. It's linear. It's not like all over the show. There's only one universe. The line goes up and down. That's it. So the line is infinite one universe in the past. We call it one universe.
Right.
And infinite in the future. And there's one line.
Right.
The multiverse is like bubbles. And from that multiverse, this universe can come into being. So that model goes with inflationary theory. So the two models.
Right. No, I understand that. Yeah. Okay. So you have these two theories can't be together. Yeah.
No. If one's true, then.
So which one do you believe to be true?
At the moment, the inflationary theory is more likely, more plausible. There's more data that points in that direction, like negative gravity, etc.
You said they're both inflationary.
No, one is called inflationary theory, the other is called CCC theory.
So what's CCC?
That's conformal psychic cosmology. That's the linear
That's
universe.
the linear one.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and you lean towards the M theory.
The inflationary theory is what I call it.
Why?
Because inflationary theory has more observational data and mathematics that make it plausible. Not guaranteed, but plausible.
Give me example.
The microwave background, negative gravity, gravitational waves.
And how does that differ from the other one?
How's it different?
How's it different from CCC?
Okay, because the very early, we're getting technical, I'm not an expert on it.
No, because look, you're pinning your beliefs to this. There's a reason for it.
Yeah.
There's reasons why you lean towards one than the other.
Yes.
So for you to do that, you need to obviously kind of understand what they're saying and why you think one is more plausible than the
I won't be
other.
able to give you the deep mathematics, so I need Phil to do that. But the observations that point to that direction explain how the universe came around so far seem to be the best. That's the reason.
So they're any more natural explanations?
And then there's God's model, which allows the universe to create itself in a time loop. We interviewed him on Friday. Tuesday.
What, so the universe caused itself?
Yeah. Now, to everybody standing here go, that's impossible.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah,
I would
no.
never say it's impossible. I would ask, why would you believe that?
It's another model.
Is there anything that causes itself that you know of?
Not in our universe, but outside our universe, that's a model that...
So there's an
right. Yeah.
So there's an uncaused cause.
In a sense, yes, yeah. And it's like in a circle. He showed this diagram with at the beginning part, there's like this little circle, and then the universe is branched off from that.
Right. So this uncaused cause.
There'll be a video out.
So let's just clarify something here then. So all of these models are just beliefs without evidence, yeah?
There's some evidence that points towards them, but nothing conclusive.
No. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Now, I use I'm not afraid to look at something outside of the natural explanation. Yeah? Because I don't know of anything that can come into existence or change form without a cause. So if I look at the universe and it looks like it came into existence, it's not always existed, then it requires a cause which you accept, but the difference is the cause of that, yeah? Now, I believe the cause needs to be uncaused.
Yes,
Yeah? So if we have an uncaused cause of the universe, yeah, then the question is that cause of the universe conscious of what? I know we've had this discussion before, and I don't really want to go there again. Anyway, is it a conscious cause, or is it like a mechanical cause? And I explain these definitions to you.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with mechanical, but...
Yeah, there's probably another technical term for it, but basically, by conscious I mean... by conscious I mean it decides when to effect its cause.
Yes.
Cause its effect, should I say.
So there is another explanation, and Carlo is walking around to study this, and he feels very strongly that there is another option, almost like a God, except it has no will, it's not an agent.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm saying to you. So the question is now, do you believe this uncaused cause is conscious or mechanical? I.e., did it cause its effect when it chose to cause its effect?
Are you talking about your version of the cause?
Yours.
Oh, my one. No, it didn't choose. No. There's no will in there.
There's no conscious.
No, there's not conscious.
Right.
No will. No.
So basically, its effect is equal to it.
No. It generates universes randomly. If you speak to Carly, he will explain it to you.
It generates.
It literally can generate.
No, you can't say it can. You say you believe it can.
Yeah. But believe it can generate universes.
Believe that.
Yeah.
You don't believe that, though.
But that's a model again. Remember, these are all models. None of us know.
Yeah, but I'm interested in your model.
Yeah. So inflationary theory.
Yeah.
In fact, that's a good point. Inflationary theory predicts the multiverse, but another option could be exactly this: the quantum vacuum,
right?
Which can bring a universe into existence,
right?
When you say uncaused, it'll bring it into existence. Doesn't require mind, and it happens randomly because of the quantum fluctuations.
Right. So
that's how it can happen.
Yeah. So again, all these are just for me is multiverse of the gaps in my experience.
Sure.
Anyway, from what I can see. So basically, where you can't explain something, you create a theory that could be true or not.
Okay, but here's the difference. Here's the crucial difference. You can, and hopefully will, falsify the theories, because only one can be true. So what do cosmologists do? They go, here's a lot of data that shows us something happened. Now, what's possible? And they put together mathematical, and they try and match it with observational data, and they go, okay, so here's a...
But again, you fell into the trap, because whoever does that is only going to look at the natural explanations.
But that's the place to start, isn't it? Do you think that we should start, is it reasonable to start with a supernatural explanation? before we've exhausted
I would look at the natural explanations, and then I would look at something. Is there something outside of our scope that could be the cause?
Okay, but why would you do that?
Why?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing really conclusive with regards what you're saying. And the second point I would go to then is this is just the cause of the universe. I'm talking about how the universe became what it is. I'm talking about species. I'm talking about all of these things. The design within everything. Yeah. So you.
Parent design. Yeah.
So
Well, you would say design. I'd say parent design.
well, if you can explain to me how evolution that you believe, yeah. I've always wanted to ask this question. I'm going to ask it.
I'll do my best to answer.
Okay, the leaf cutter ant.
Okay, I've heard of it.
Right. Do you understand how the leaf cutter ant works?
No, not specifically.
All right. Because don't forget, it's based on what evolution? Survival of the fittest. Yeah. So ants require altruism to exist.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't know that.
Well, ants need to work together to exist as a colony.
Yes. Yeah.
They can't exist singular.
Yeah.
So what is the mechanism that tell ants to come together as a colony, right? And I'll explain the leaf cutter ant, and if you can explain this through evolutionary understanding, all right. The leaf cutter ant, it cuts leaves. You've seen them, isn't it? On the thing, he's carrying the leaf in their mandibles. Yeah. All right. Now they can't eat those leaves, right? They can't eat those leaves. So why are they cutting these leaves? They can't eat them. They take them to their nest, and at the front of their nest there's what's called a dormant ant within the same species of ant, right? And it basically blocks the entrance to the hole with its head. So when they come with the leaf, it will move out the way, and the worker ants will come out and they'll take the leaves. Now remember, they can't eat these leaves, so what are they doing? These leaves get dragged into the nest, where they get taken to another ant from the same species, where it chews up the leaf. Now it has a special zinc or something in its jaw, and it turns the leaf into like a mush. Then the worker ants come, they take the mush, they go to a chamber within the nest, which is not too hot, not too cold, it's a perfect temperature, and they spread this mush on the floor. And then what happens is a fungus grows on top of this mush. And then they harvest the fungus and they feed their young with it.
Okay, that's
right.
Quite intricate, yeah.
Yes, subhanallah. Now the question is this: how does evolutionary survival of the fittest explain that? In the sense of, how did a sterile universe, yeah, create a situation where you have a colony of ants, all one species, all have different roles, all have different abilities, yeah, and yet if they didn't exist in that colony, they would be dead. Sorry, sister. They'd be dead. Because why? If there's no one cutting the leaves, if there's no dormant ant, they get raided. If there's no one chewing up the leaves, all right. How would you explain that?
I'll have to look that up. That's an interesting story about how the ants come. I'll go look that up and see. Well, what's the current explanation?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll give you a counterexample, if I may. Well, not a counter.
You're going to give me the snowflake or something?
No.
Get the
There's another interesting one with these
Sorry,
Japanese, not bees. What the biggest stinging things?
Hornets.
Hornets. These big Japanese hornets.
The jeweled one.
Yeah, have you seen them? They're huge. They're about this big. They go into colonies, and 20 of them can decimate a colony of 100 million bees. They just, because they're impenetrable. When they came to Europe, they were decimating colonies everywhere. The ants couldn't, the bees couldn't survive. In Japan, they can. How did they do it? When this wasp comes to the hornet comes to the nest, they surround the hornet and they start beating their wings and moving at a high speed. And they generate heat, and they actually kill this thing through heat. And I was reading a little bit about this, and that's the evolutionary evolvement of these bees.
No, that's different, you see.
Oh, okay.
You see, these ants had to have this job from the word go. That's how they survived. An ant on its own couldn't survive.
Okay.
The whole colony survives by each doing its job within that colony. Now the question is this: how from a sterile universe do you get this colony of ants, all with their jobs, all with their unique abilities? From nothing.
When you say from nothing, I mean...
From a sterile universe.
Yeah, but obviously the universe isn't sterile, is it?
Oh, you say the universe contained life before it exploded?
Not before it exploded, but once it exploded...
Once it exploded...
There's the potential for life. And
No. That means there was no life before it exploded, yes?
So when it inflated, you mean there was no life? No.
Before it inflated, there was no life.
No.
After it inflated, life appeared.
Correct, yeah.
From where?
From the interaction of the particles. Do you know that the reason...
No, life, we're talking about life here.
Yes, I'm saying to you. So from the interaction of particles, do you know that you and I couldn't be here except for stars exploding? If the universe expanded and there were no stars, we wouldn't be here. Did you know that? No. Because of the elements. So what I'm saying is that the universe has the potential, and obviously has, in our case, given rise to what we call life. There might be other forms of life out there we don't know about. They've even picked up potential life on one of the moons around Saturn. This Cassini spacecraft picked it up. So what we're saying is...
The reason they do this, there could be life on Mars, because they sense water.
Correct, yes.
Yeah? And then water, then life can form in water.
Correct. Oh, not even water, this is water.
No, but they use water. Right. Now we know in Islam, that we're told in the Quran, how everything is created from water. So we know that anyway. But the point here is this. How?
You mean the actual mechanism?
Yeah.
Not sure.
We don't know.
I don't know the
Right.
human.
See, I
don't know.
I personally cannot see, this is my own belief,
Sure.
how a universe from a singularity that can explode the way you claim, inflate the way you say it, then all of a sudden life starts appearing and everything seems to know what it's doing, organized. I don't get that. I mean, I'll give you another example of a species surviving, yeah? Have you heard of the, I think it's a jeweled hornet? Have you heard of
That's
this?
the same one that I was talking about? Maybe
No.
not.
What this one does, it hunts cockroaches. Yeah? It hunts cockroaches. And what the first thing it does, it cuts their antennae, which reduces their flight reflex. Yeah? So the cockroach then becomes immobilized. They then paralyze it and drag it to their nest. They then put it in their nest, and this cockroach now cannot move. It doesn't have the ability to run. It's done. And then this jeweled hornet, or jeweled wasp I think it's called actually, lays its eggs in this cockroach.
Yes.
And then it goes out, fills in the burrow, and leaves. When the babies hatch, they start to eat the cockroach. But the way they eat the cockroach is in a way that will keep the cockroach alive the longest. So they won't go for its, the essential organs or whatever is that the cockroach is. Yeah? They will know how to take a cockroach apart without killing it. Now, how did that happen? Because if they didn't have that ability, the cockroach would die straight away. They wouldn't be able to. The young wouldn't be able to survive. Yeah, because the cockroach would start to rot.
Okay, but it's possible they could have evolved another mechanism. So that's just one.
No. I'm just giving an example. And then the other one I'm interested in is the spider. There's a spider has two web mechanisms. Do you know that? It has one web. It casts to catch flies. And it has another web it casts when it wants to metamorphose into something, get bigger or whatever, shed its skin or whatever, and it's not sticky and whatever. Alright. This particular wasp, nasty these wasps, right? It lays its eggs in the spider. It paralyzes it first. It then mind controls the spider and tells the spider to spin the web that it uses itself to metamorphose or to grow, and then the young of the wasp cocoon in this thing, and the spider protects them until they hatch.
Is the spider still alive and it can move? Or?
Yeah, the spider's fine. The spider's been mind controlled. Yeah, it's been injected with something that tells it to spin the web to house.
So they're in its body and they hatch.
Not in its body, just in the web. And then the spider protects those cocoons because it's its web. Then obviously when the wasp hatch, they kill the spider. But the point here is this again. I personally cannot understand how this could happen accidentally. which you believe.
No, well, not accidental.
Well, it is accidental.
No.
Was it meant to happen this way?
No, but remember, evolution is not about accidental. It's about
Was it deliberate?
random mutations and say again? Was
it deliberate?
No, it would have been influenced by its environment. So essentially,
No, but it has to be influenced from it has to happen from day one, or it can't survive.
What do you mean from day one?
Because that's how it survive. That's how it does it.
Yeah, but things evolve over millions of years, don't they? It's not like it happened like overnight. It's a long process. But your bigger claim, let's go back to your bigger claim.
No, but I'm just saying, I'm just trying to understand. These are my reasons for the idea that this cause of the universe is bigger than just some random accidental event. I believe the universe is deliberate.
Yes, I know. But that's the big claim. That's the claim really to look at. And this is not a personal thing. It's just called an argument from ignorance. When you said I can't think of anything, that means, well, I've exhausted what I understand. Does that mean that the explanation is still out there?
No.
Yes,
What it means is I believe the most plausible explanation.
Okay, but you're basing it.
And I'm taking in the naturalistic.
Yeah, but you're basing it on a very small knowledge of naturalistic.
I'm basically, first of all, I've based it on I don't believe anything that changes its form can do so without a cause. I'm basing it on that.
Okay, but that's within the universe. That's why.
No. From what we know.
Yes.
So, therefore, I'm not going to do no special pleading and say there must be something outside the universe we don't know that can do that.
But you do say that.
No, I don't.
It's God.
No. I believe what I understand God to be is the uncaused cause.
Yes.
And I believe that the uncaused cause requires consciousness. Oh, I'm sorry. The atheist is going to bash me now.
Come closer.
Can I just say, that couple of examples you both give about what mechanics and these wasps, aren't they amazing? If we give you an argument, an explanation, like a computer program that showed you like very simple things, following very simple laws to achieve a very complex outcome, then you stop believing in evolution.
What do you mean? Do you believe evolution is proven? No, but first of all, do you believe evolution is proven? No, I didn't ask about your ideas. I didn't ask about your subjective opinion. I said you believe it's proven.
Yes.
Which model? No, which model of evolution is proven? No, which model?
Yeah, 6 models. I don't know.
But which model you believe is proven then? Because there's 6 models and they can't all be correct. So which one is correct? According to you, is proven. Because then there wouldn't be the models. It would have proof. No, I'm asking you. You're the one who said it's proven. This is your belief, not mine. No. What I'm saying to you is this. You jumped in on something with basic knowledge and no disrespect. I don't want to just pummel you like smacking a puppy. But you cannot come in and say something's proven when I show you the 6 models of it and you don't know which version you believe is proven. See, proven means there shouldn't be 6 models. There should be 1 model. Agreed or no?
It depends what you mean. Because remember, evolution is a big...
If something's proven, what does that mean?
What is proven? What's proven?
Exactly.
What we're talking about.
You have empirical, observable, testable evidence that it can be no other than what we're saying it is.
Let's be clear on something. When we use the word evolution, that's like cosmology. You equate the word evolution with cosmology as an analogy. That encompasses a lot of stuff. Evolutionary biologists are talking about things within the evolutionary model.
Do you believe it's proven?
The modern theory of evolution, proven. As far as I can see, it is.
Give me one example of it.
Transitional forms.
No, give me evidence.
Genetics.
I want evidence.
What
I want evidence of something, that empirical, observable and testable, that can change its form.
Okay, so if I provide one or show you one, would that satisfy you?
I could accept your model as plausible.
Go and have a look.
And before we get too carried away, I as a Muslim have no issue with adaptation, Do you accept that,
So I'm curious as to why Muslims, because I see Sabur was one of them. Some Muslims now are claiming we accept evolution 99%, the only thing we don't accept is that humans evolve.
Okay.
But everything else.
First thing, I can't defend Sabur, I don't know what he said. Okay. But what I'm saying to you is this, adaptation through survival of the fittest, I have no issue with it. It doesn't. If
species evolved over millions of years.
I believe a species can adapt to its environment.
Can it evolve?
I don't believe a species can become a separate species.
That's a key,
I don't think I believe that.
Key part of evolution.
Is that proven? Can you give me one example of a species becoming another species?
Yeah. So we can show you the transitional forms.
No. You're just going to show me bones and tell me what it is. You're not going to prove it, are you?
Okay, but that's not good enough for you.
No.
If all the evolutionary biologists, paleontologists can show you that here was one animal, here was one animal, here was another one, and here's something that looks like both of them.
No.
Would that not satisfy?
You have to prove to me that that animal became that animal.
What sort of proof would what proof would suffice for you? Because you're saying proof.
I don't think there is any proof, mate. Unless you can show me something now. That is, or something that you know of that's been observed.
Okay, but that's not how evolution works, is it?
No, of course it is. That's why you can't prove it.
Okay, but it depends what you mean by proof.
Proof means
if you're looking for a live,
proof means you have empirical, observable, testable evidence that it could not have occurred any other way.
Okay, so that standard,
which he believes.
Okay, but Hamza, the standard you've just used there now, we can't prove anything in the world. Your standard has now become
not my standard.
Yeah.
Not my standard.
Science doesn't work like that.
Really?
No.
Give me an example of proof according to scientific model then.
Okay, so proof of a scientific theory would be something like evolution. Another scientific theory would be heliocentrism.
What is proof according to science?
A large amount of evidence pointing in different directions.
Is it not observable, testable evidence?
Yes, but you added an extra criteria.
What did I add?
You said it has to be proved as it has to be absolutely true.
No. When you mention absolutely true.
You said that earlier on.
No, proven.
So what is proven?
If something's proven, does that mean that it cannot be anything else?
Okay, so
no. What does proven mean to you then? Sorry, don't despair.
I think because you're trying to make this like 100%.
No. I'm asking you. What does proven mean? I believe proven. It means it can't be anything else. According to the evidence.
Do you mean it's impossible for it to be anything else?
It means I have evidence that this is how it happened.
Yes. Could that change or
obviously.
modify?
But then your proven then is transitory, isn't it? So you can't really have any proof. Because if I'm not wrong, correct me, science doesn't have the facility to claim proof.
No, but like it can do this.
Not absolute proof.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, but let's say you're in a courtroom.
So if it's not absolute proof, then you cannot say this is how it happened.
Yes, you can.
You could say this is how I believed it happened, or this is how it could have happened, or this is the only naturalistic explanation of how it may have occurred, but you cannot say this is how it occurred.
So when I say this is how it occurred...
But you cannot say that.
Why?
Because then you have to prove it.
Okay, so
it's a claim.
Okay, so if we provided you with genetics, DNA...
What does genetics prove?
That animals have a lineage, that they go from one animal to another.
What does that prove?
That shows that we had an...
Give me an example. I mean, explain away speciation, for example. How does speciation happen in the African savannah? Okay, for a species to evolve, I'm not an expert on evolution, so I don't want to get too deep.
I'm just reading it.
He seems to be, because you believe it's proven, isn't it? Alright, so, well, you did say that.
Can I just set up the framework there?
One second. So in the African savannah, you have lions, you have cheetahs, you have leopards, you have panthers?
Black panthers.
Yeah, right. Now, for speciation means, for this evolution to occur, the species has to be separated and isolated from its original species, and then adapt or change in such a way that it cannot breed with its original species. Do you understand that or not?
Yes, that happens for a long period.
It has to happen. It has to be isolated. Yeah?
I'm not sure if it has to be isolated.
Well, if it's not isolated, what's going to stop it mating with its...
Well, some of them can move away, and obviously...
No. It has to be isolated. Speciation requires isolation. No? Oh, okay. Explain to me then, how let's say we have a great cat in Africa. Yeah? All right. And it starts to adapt to its environment. So let's say we're talking about a lion, and it starts to adapt to its environment. If the whole species, if the whole species become another creature, that's just adaptation. Yeah? For it to occur, speciation means that a portion of them have to become something completely different to what it was originally, so it cannot mate with it.
I don't think it does.
What?
I don't think it does mean that.
Where do you get your understanding of speciation from then? Well, if they didn't isolate, then if they carried on mating with each other, where's the
defining barrier of speciation? When it can be just made up. Just saying this species is defined by these traits.
But you're saying that for it to change, it has to be away from its original. So in the African savannah, how do we have so many species of big cat? For it to be true, what you're saying is they would have all had to be separated from each other.
No, because you're making it so that species can't make.
No, but that's true evolution. It's not then.
What do you mean?
Well, how do you understand evolution then?
You said, why don't I?
No, how do you understand it?
Well, how I understand it. Simple things undergo simple processes to create a complex outcome.
What's the difference between evolution and adaptation?
No, adaptation is a subpart of evolution.
Right, so they react to their environments. Right? So if they're reacting to their environments and they're all in the same environment, why are they all reacting differently?
Some of them exploit different resources, different ways of surviving.
But they're in the same place.
Yeah, but that place is very complex.
And they're all the same species. So how can you have distinct lions, distinct panthers, distinct cheetahs, distinct leopards? Yeah? It means there needs to have been a separation from the original species for that to occur separately. Yeah?
Well, actually, let's say there was...
Otherwise, how are you going to get all these defined species within the same area?
Let's say you have like two different types of berries. You've got one type of herd of cattle of the berry, and then the very strong cattle that eat a very nutritious berry. The weak ones eat the other ones. Over time, the weak ones...
two cattles?
No, one whole cattle.
Cattle group?
Species of cattle.
Right, and there's two types of berry?
Two types of berry.
One is nutritious, one is... Right, so the cattle that eat the nutritious one do what?
They're the strong ones, so the strong ones eat the good berries.
Right.
And then some of the one cattle will eat some of that berry, the other berry.
Right.
And then some of them would change so that berry could be consumed.
Or they'll just die.
But like you said, it goes over millions of years, doesn't it? So it's very subtle.
Right, so what would happen over millions of years with these cattle? Would one cattle No, listen to me. First of all, I don't make the rules up. Let's clarify that. I'm not making up the rules of speciation here. I'm explaining the models here. And for one species, and correct me if I'm wrong, do research please, because I'm not an expert in evolution. I wish the boy was here. He'd give it on lockdown. Where is he? You're probably sure I'm wrong actually. Leave some boy.
No, you said
Support. What do you know about speciation? What do you know about speciation and evolution?
Evolution?
Yeah, we're talking about evolution. We're talking about speciation. And I'm saying...
I know the meaning of the word, but I'm not a scientist.
I know, that's why I need support. If I was talking to a Christian about the Bible, Paul's a man.
It's your accent, brother.
Support.
Okay, so let's move on.
Anyway, yeah, let's move on. Alright, don't worry.
Your whole point was you don't see the evidence for evolution.
No.
And if I provide you with a transitional fossil...
I say to you again, I don't believe you have proof for evolution. Yeah? If you bring me fossil remains and say this was this and now this is this, I would ask you, how can you prove that?
Okay, but you also said that you have no problem with
adaptation.
The majority of...
I have no problem with adaptation. I have no problem with Darwin's finches, for example. Or what happened in... I found it very interesting on the Shetland Isles. Because I just visited my mum recently. And did you know the Shetland Isles used to be part of Antarctica?
Oh, okay.
Covered in ice.
Right.
And then when it came to... And do you know the distance between Shetland Isles? This is some information there. The difference between Shetland Isles and the Arctic, the North Pole, is the same as Alaska and some other place. But because of
between the two of them?
The distance to it.
Oh, okay.
But because of the Gulf Stream, the warm sea, it cools the land. So what happened there in the Shetland Isles, it came covered in ice melted, yeah?
So it broke away, I guess, or moved away.
Yeah, broke away, the ice melted, and then what happened, spiders floated in the wind and seeds came off and each island had like, it was like basically they called it, it was like the Galapagos of the north kind of thing, yeah? Quite interesting. Now I have no issue with that. See, I believe Allah in His wisdom allows for that. I don't believe that the creator of the heavens and earth couldn't have that facility, that the creatures He created could learn to adapt in their environments and adapt to their environments and the changes within their environment. There was that one case about the elephants in Africa where they were getting hunted for their tusks, and then all of a sudden the babies started being born without tusks, for example. So they were no longer hunted. Now I don't believe an evolutionary mechanism, unconscious cause, some kind of said, you know what, make sure these babies don't have tusks so they won't be hunted. What mechanism is there for that?
So that would be evolutionary pressure, because obviously they're getting hunted. And
so they would know the reason, they would know.
it's not like they will physically.
No, I'm trying to understand this principle. So you're saying that, I mean, if this is what you believe, it's what you believe. So you're saying the elephants somehow.
If what you claim is true is that they were hunted for their tusks, then over a period of time
They stopped having tusks.
stopped having tusks.
So the hunters wouldn't come.
Yeah. What's your claim? They've got
No, I have no issue. No. I'm just giving an example. The naturalistic explanation is what?
there would be evolutionary pressure, because otherwise they become extinct.
Right.
So the tusks are no longer needed, and therefore.
And there's no intelligence behind that.
When you say intelligence, there would be a biological.
What biological? So basically, you're saying the biological makeup of the elephant would know it's being hunted for its tusks.
In a sense, yeah, in a sense, it's called teleonomic.
In a sense.
Teleonomic is what you call that sort of.
So just repeat that.
change.
The biological makeup of the elephant will know it's being hunted for its tusks.
Use the word no. It's like conscious action. It's not a conscious
No, of course,
action,
you believe it's subconscious, unconscious.
It's like a biological action.
So it's a biological action.
It's like the finches. It's like the finches, isn't it? You accept that the finches changed their beaks and did whatever they did.
No, because that's to survive. Yeah, they realise they need longer beaks or whatever it is. But to actually remove something because it's being hunted, I find that harder to understand.
And that one survived and the others didn't, so it's more likely to be
But then we can also ask, why do elephants have tusks? Can they survive without tusks? Wouldn't the elephants with tusks survive longer than the ones without tusks?
Well, not if they've been hunted.
No, we're talking about in their environment.
Evolutionary pressure
The thing is, Hamza, the bigger point about all this is that there are some smart Muslims, and I think Sabur is one of them, that believes in evolution. About 99% is what I thought I heard him on a video say. And the only thing that virtually every theist will say is that humans want creators. So everything else, they're happy with speciation, changing over millions of years. They accept all of that. What they don't accept is obviously humans evolving from a common ancestor. That part they go, no. God had to at some point in that process inject.
See, here's the thing. All right, and this goes deeper then into our beliefs, doesn't it? Because if we believe in an uncaused cause, and I believe that cause is conscious, I don't believe it's accidental. I don't think this universe is accidental.
No, I know that.
Yeah, all right. So because and that's not unreasonable for you to hold that belief.
In your
Do you think it's unreasonable for me to hold that belief?
Yeah.
Why?
Because there's no good reasons. We've got natural explanation.
No. Your natural explanation. You say natural explanation, which doesn't conform to anything we know of.
Give me an example. Which one?
Well, you
talk
talk
about
about. I'll go back to the beginning, and I believe the universe had an uncaused cause.
So, because I know you've spoken about it before, and when you talk about it, what you need to be on the same playing field is some kind of scientific hypothesis for a God. If you could do that, now you're on the same playing field. Now, cosmologists will take it seriously.
No.
At the moment,
I'll say it again to you. Cosmologists do not deal with the metaphysical. They don't even take it into account.
Do you think it's possible that you could come up with a hypothesis that could point towards a God?
Okay, can I say it again? Going from the beginning.
No, just that question.
Alright, I'll say it again to you. We've agreed I can't prove there's a God, yeah?
That's a simple question.
Alright, so I bring up a hypothesis. That there's an uncaused cause.
Yes, that's falsifiable. Because now people will pay attention to it. If there was some mechanism that you could go, X, Y, and Z happened, here's some calculation, and this. Okay, but
so you think it's more reasonable to believe in something else that's unproven?
There's a difference between unproven and evidence pointing in that direction. I think that's the key point. Do you think...
No, for me the evidence pointing in that direction is I don't know of anything that changes the form without a cause.
Yeah, but that's a philosophical claim.
No, that's just my... No. That's me looking at the world I know, looking at everything that exists, looking at the things that come into existence, knowing that it requires something behind it to cause its effect. That's what I believe.
I wish you could come on some cosmological interviews and have a little bit more. You probably still go away and go, the biggest thing I hear is people go, they haven't proven it, therefore I don't want to even entertain it.
This is what you're missing.
I want to open your mind.
No. Here's the thing you see. My reasons are bigger than just a subjective opinion like yours, right? I believed in the idea of a creator because of when I looked at the world and around me and I believed this couldn't happen. That's my own belief, right? Then when I delved further into it, I asked the question, has this creator linked to us, communicated with us, guided us, whatever? Yeah. Then I look to the people who made the claim that it has. Then I look at their claim. Then I see whether I believe their claim to be true or not. And if I believe their claim to be true or not, I go with that. You understand? Right. So I'm a Muslim today because I believe the claim that Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, was sent by this creator that exists. I believe that. Right?
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. But I didn't need Islam to believe in a creator though. I believed in a creator 2 years before I was a Muslim. Yeah, I accepted that, but I was agnostic.
What sort of creator did you believe in?
At that point, I didn't believe in man-made religion. I didn't believe in this personal idea of a God.
You think there was just an intelligence that sparked the universe?
I believed in the idea of an uncaused, intelligent creator. The idea that I don't believe this universe could have happened without one.
Okay, but it didn't have any, at that stage, it didn't have any interaction.
At that point, at that stage, I had no connection to that creator. I had no trust in man-made religion or organised religion, control the masses, opium of the people. I would concede there was a creator, but I wouldn't go as far as dictates of perceptions of that creator. I would go to the idea of an uncaused cause that is conscious and deliberately caused the universe for whatever reason, I don't know. And then when everyone makes their claims, and I would test their claims, you understand? So that was my position.
That's actually harder to disprove, other than you still need the evidence that he exists. But that's more.
No, I'm not claiming it's proven.
No, I know. But that view, I'm more sympathetic almost to that view because there's less, the more information you give, the more we can look at it. So that view is much.
That's the point though, because that's my standard. That was my standard. Yeah. Religion is for weak people, need control, need a crutch in their life, opium of the people, to control the masses. That was my understanding. Until a Jehovah's Witness knocked on my door and gave me a beautiful book, Mankind's Search for God. And I read that and it abused every religion of the world.
Sorry, did what?
It basically explained every religion of the world and then showed how they weren't true or why they believed they weren't true, except Islam. So when it came to Islam, there didn't seem to be a refutation to it. And I think I read something by David Icke at one point about religions. And again, he didn't seem to refute Islam. He may do now. Maybe got hold of some Islamophobic stuff, I don't know. But at that point in my life, he didn't seem to. So I was confused as to, not confused, intrigued as to why Islam seems to stand the test of the scrutiny. So that's when I looked at it, and then started to become interested in it. But still, I knew non-practicing Muslims, so I used to say to them, "Are you praying?" And they said, "No." I said, "Wait."
There's a question for you, because some of the viewers might be interested.
I do need to use the toilet, but go on.
On one of your videos, you said that the main reason you turned to Islam was because of fear of hell. And at the same time, here with Sarah, you said no, you believe for like more intellectual reasons. So there was a question about you being inconsistent.
No. There was no. You clarify that, clear that up. Yeah. Basically, I said my belief in the idea of a creator and Islam as being the truth was not an emotional thing. It wasn't an emotional reaction. It was an intellectual investigation.
Was it prior or after you accepted because of the fear of going to hell?
No. I didn't even look at the fear of going to hell. I didn't even bother with that.
Okay. So you only that cemented your view.
No. It was only when I became convinced of the Creator. I became convinced the Quran was the word of that Creator, and Muhammad was the messenger of that Creator, and I accepted the warning being given to me.
Okay, so you feel like you did an intellectual investigation,
Yes, 100%.
and then you were extra convinced by the fear of hell.
I was motivated. No, I was motivated by the punishment that God put there as a motivational tool for man to move away from it and to go towards the worship of God. And like I said earlier, worshipping God, obeying Him, following His guidance, live a beautiful life, free from all the poisons you're subject to.
Well, those people who choose to. But
No, I'm not.
And of course,
I appreciate that you might avoid those poisons. But following your worldview,
yes,
you could also be a victim of them.
I could, but do you think people should have their choice, or should they be banned from having that choice?
If you ask me the question, should my children have the choice to listen to me or do their own thing?
At some point they're going to do their own thing, correct?
No. But at this point in time...
No, but let's not talk about children. Talk about adults.
Well, let's
who make
start
that
with the
choice.
children. Why do I tell my children what to do?
Because you believe that you're telling them the right thing. We all do.
No. I do it for their benefit.
That's what you get.
Right.
We all say the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
They might not comprehend why I'm telling them something, but the reality is, it's for their benefit. So, prime example, tidy your room. They might not understand it, and I'll say, look, if you don't tidy the room, you're not going out. If you tidy your room, I'll take you to the cinema. Motivate them. Yes. Now, I'm not telling them to tidy their room because I want to reward or punish them. I'm telling them to tidy their room because it's for their benefit. Because if their room becomes messy and untidy and dirty, they might end up with mice and flies and whatever. Now they might not comprehend the consequences of having an untidy room. Yeah? But I can comprehend it. So they need my guidance because they don't know. Right? They can't comprehend. So my next question comes, who guides me? Who tells me the things I can't comprehend? Who tells me what's good for me? Who tells me
Can you
what's
not work
bad?
that out for yourself?
How can I?
Why can't you?
Okay.
Haven't you got critical faculties? You can look at the world.
I look at the world. Okay. I'll give you an example. I look at the world.
Yes.
I look at alcohol. I see people having a good time. My government tell me you can drink it. So is that a good thing?
Okay, so if I brought you an article next time we speak that says that one glass of wine a day is actually good for you or better for you than having no alcohol,
What would I say?
What would you say to that?
I would say that in Islam, the Quran says about even though there's benefit in alcohol, the harm is greater.
Okay, but if I brought you, just move just slightly over here.
There's a lot of space over there. Come on.
We just won't hear a damn thing. I don't know why they need to shout so loud. Do you want to go to the toilet and come back again? No?
Where is the toilet? I've got my 20p ready.
The McDonald's is closed, so the closest is the Cumberland Hotel, which is like next to McDonald's. I had to go to the Cumberland because they're closed. So.
Or the toilet downstairs in the car park, isn't it?
I don't think there is one.
The other one's there.
No, I need a toilet.
Other one's over there. 20p, really clean. Yes.
Okay, go for it and then I'll stop
Alright,
here.
but let me just answer that before I leave.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's me.
What about
Oh yeah. Alright, you said to me about the wine.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So
But if you say that to me, I already know that.
okay, do you know that there's a scientific study that shows that one glass of wine is beneficial?
I just said to you, the Quran says the same.
Oh, no, but what you said in the Quran, if I understood you correctly, is that there can be benefits and detriments, and the detriments outweigh the
It says
benefits.
even if there is benefit in it, the harm is greater.
Okay, but what I'm saying to you is that the potential scientific study is that there's benefits outweigh the harm of it. And if that were true, and I could bring that and present that to you, what would your response be?
Unfortunately, you can't.
Why not?
Okay, if you're saying to me that the health benefit of a glass of wine outweighs
one glass, yes.
outweighs A&E on a Friday and Saturday night, drunk drivers, and all of this business. Yeah, 70% of people in prison intoxicated or on drugs when they did their crime. If you're saying it outweighs that, I challenge that.
Okay, but remember what I said? I said 1 glass of wine a night.
No, 1 glass of wine a night.
But you
you're not
can't
gonna have
keep to
any-
1 glass.
No. Let's just say,
can.
I.
None of the detriments you've talked about are applicable with 1 glass of wine.
No, for me they're not. For
Anybody.
No.
Find somebody who...
The point here is this: if you can get people to stick to 1 glass of wine a night, as you say, yeah, and you can guarantee that, you may have a point, but you can't.
No, but that's a different thing. Trying to force
Because
people to do something.
if you go to alcoholics,
1 glass is
they
too
didn't.
many, 10 is not enough.
Go to an alcoholic and ask them when you started drinking, how much did you drink? And I guarantee it wasn't more than 1 glass a night. Probably less.
Okay, but that's not the point.
No,
though.
but the point is this: it's poison, and it can cause damage on a massive scale within any society.
The whole scientific claim is it's not poison if taken in moderation.
No, but the point here is this: society will not be told what to do. Why? Because for example, what's your moral anchor?
What do you mean by that?
All right, what do you use as a standard to determine what is right and what is wrong?
So the
No. What is your
so
standard?
the well-being of conscious creatures. So the well-being of
No.
human
What is your standard? What do you go to? What do you look at?
So methodological naturalism and the scientific method.
Right. So what is your
my
standard?
morals?
No. I'm asking you, what is your moral anchor? What is it you can go to and say to him, you're wrong because of this?
Okay, good. So the reason I could go to him and say it's wrong is because what I consider the yardstick is the well-being of well-being of conscious creatures, the worst possible misery for everybody,
Right.
and we can move on a continuum.
Okay. So
and
you're
use
saying
the
now, so
scientific
according to
method.
your yardstick, alcohol should be completely eradicated in society?
No, but that's
Yes.
But I've just said to you that the scientific, if the study is true, that 1 glass of wine will actually be more healthy for you than having no glass of wine. Just 1 glass. Forget about if
So
people
you're saying
take more
having
than
1
one.
glass of
But
wine
with respect, with a lot of
is
people, it
healthier
doesn't
than not
say
drinking it.
1 glass.
Say again?
so it's healthier?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So if I do. Now that's a study. That's a potential study that
And I'll
heard
say
about.
to you again,
Yeah.
as I've said, the Quran tells me that. But I know it won't stop at 1 glass of wine with everybody.
Okay, but there's a difference.
And once you allow it in society, you will have drunk drivers, and you will have A&E on a Friday and Saturday night collapsing the NHS, without a doubt.
Okay, but you're putting together two different things.
No. What we're doing is this.
You're trying to give me the practical outcome.
No, you're giving me the
No,
benefits of alcohol.
He's talking about the whole, you're talking about
Yeah,
one
you're giving me
isolated.
the benefit of alcohol, and I'm
giving
telling
you
you
the
the
study that says
all right,
X.
so let's do your study. You tell me the benefit of alcohol, and I'll tell you the destruction alcohol causes, and then we'll see if society is better with or without it.
Okay, remember what the question was there? 1 glass of
1 glass of wine,
a night.
Yeah.
Is
So
the- is
you're
the
saying
tension-
7 glasses of wine a
A
week.
week. 1 glass of wine a night. Yeah.
Right.
Is,
And you're saying, yeah.
apparently has benefits, heart benefits.
Right.
Yes.
So you're saying that you think in a society everyone should only drink 1 glass of wine a night?
If they
that's
wanted
what
to
you're
be
saying.
healthy, yes. According
That's
to
your
my
moral standard.
well-being, if they were true, I would have to
So
accept
according
that.
to you, anyone who drinks more than 1 glass of wine is wrong.
That would be more. That would be
What if
start
she
to go
was
on the
pregnant? She
detrimental
would have it every
side.
night
Yeah.
alone?
Right.
Because it's based on studies. So that's why
Right.
how my
But
model.
And do you believe alcohol is addictive or not?
For some people, yes, sure.
You don't believe it's
Not for
addictive?
everybody, no.
Right.
I used to drink. I stopped drinking entirely, and I knew
That's
when I
nice.
had a couple of glasses of wine or beer, and I go, not feeling so good. But I know there's people who aren't. But that's not the question. That's
Have you
not
ever
the
had a
question.
bereavement?
Yeah.
And you never drink to... See, look.
No.
Really?
No. Because I didn't really like the taste. It was a social thing for me.
Here's the thing you see, Rob, and this is what you've got to understand. You've got to stop being so selfish, all right? You need a standard that can benefit and support everyone.
Yeah, I think it's. a
So
little
some people have addictive personalities and can't stop at 1 glass, and you allow them 1 glass, you don't know where it's going to go. Now the problem with you, you might be strong in what you do. Yeah, you might have strong willpower. People are weaker than you, and if you give people the signal it's okay to drink alcohol, yeah, they have a bereavement. Their wife divorces them. Yeah, they seek solace in the alcohol because alcohol is an escapism. Yeah, it does make you forget what's going on around you. So if you have a really crappy life, you know that alcohol can make you forget. Yeah.
So,
And then you start taking that alcohol in large quantities to avoid the hardship or whatever you're facing, and then what happens is that starts not to do the job, so you need to drink a little bit more. and a little bit more because you're not getting the buzz anymore. You're not getting the escapism anymore.
Okay, so
You're talking to a man who worked in Falaraki and Zakynthos, Greek islands, yeah? I've seen the devastation alcohol causes, yeah? I've worked in a pub as a teetotal on Christmas Eve, watching the place descending. Alcohol is poison within society, yeah? Go to any A&E on a Friday and Saturday night and tell me what alcohol is doing to a society.
okay, so the wider point.
I need to use the toilet.